The mirror that borrowed a face. On projection of the beloved. A young man saw, across a market square in late summer, a woman he did not know. He could not say what stopped him. There was nothing remarkable in her clothing, a plain green dress, a small straw hat, the ordinary cotton of a woman doing her ordinary errands. She was speaking to no one of importance. She was holding a basket of pears she had just bought from the corner stall. She was paying the seller, who was counting her change. She turned briefly to lift the basket, and the light caught her face in a particular way, a way the young man would, in later years, try to describe and never succeed, and the young man knew with absolute certainty that he had been waiting for her all his life. He did not speak to her that day. He was 23. He had been raised carefully. He had been told that women of that quality were not to be approached in markets. He stood behind a fruit stall and watched her finish her purchases, watched her walk down the street with her basket, watched her turn at the corner and disappear toward the lower town. He did not sleep that night. He came back to the market the next day. She was not there. He came back every day for 3 weeks. She came once more on a Thursday with a different basket. He watched her again. He did not speak. She did not see him. He learned after weeks of careful inquiry that she lived in a town 50 miles down the coast. He moved there. He took a room in a boarding house in her town. He arranged a job at a small office. He arranged his work so that he would walk each morning on the street where she walked her dog. He did not speak to her. He walked behind her. He learned the streets she preferred. He learned the cafe she stopped at on Sunday mornings. He learned the names of her 2 children by listening when they came running to meet her at the school gate. He learned in the 2nd year that she was married. He had suspected this. The ring on her hand had been visible from the first day in the market. He had told himself in his first heat that the marriage did not matter, that what he had recognized was older than marriage, that she would, when the moment came, understand. He followed her for 7 years, 3 towns. He followed her when her husband moved them to a 3rd town. He followed them when the husband moved them again to a 4th. He took a different job each time. He never spoke to her. He sometimes stood very near her at the bakery, on the bus, at a public gathering, and he could smell her hair, and the smell would confirm, every time, the impossible certainty he had felt across the market square at 23. He grew thinner. He grew older. He was, by 30, no longer a young man. He was a man who had spent his entire adult life following one woman through 4 towns without ever speaking to her. In the 7th year, in a quiet street in the 4th town, he stopped her. He had not planned to. He had been walking behind her as usual when she had stopped to retie her shoe, and he had been too close, and she had looked up, and she had seen him. "You do not know me," he said. He had practiced this sentence for 7 years. "But I have known you. I have known you since the market square in the summer of my 23rd year. I have been waiting to speak to you for 7 years. I have come today to ask you to marry me. I know you have a husband. I know you have children. I know what I am asking. I am asking anyway. The thing I recognized when I saw you was older than your marriage. It was older than your children. It was older than us. I have been carrying it for 7 years. I cannot carry it alone any longer. I am asking you." The woman looked at him. Her face was very precisely the face he had been carrying for 7 years. The mouth he had memorized, the line of the brow, the eyes. The eyes were exactly the eyes he had been waiting for. She did not know him. She had never, she said, seen him. She had a husband whom she loved. She had 2 children whom she loved. She had no recollection of any market square, any look across any market, any sense that she had ever been seen by him. She said, sorry. She thought he must be ill. She would, she said, walk on now. She walked on. She did not look back. The young man, who was no longer young, who was no longer anything in particular, stood very still in the street. He walked after some time past a shop window. He glanced into it. In the glass he saw his own reflection. It was wearing the face of the woman he had followed for 7 years. He stopped. He looked again. He moved his head. The reflection moved its head. The reflection had his hair, his collar, his thin shoulders, but the face was the woman's face. The mouth he had memorized, the line of the brow, the eyes. There you are, said the reflection. He could not speak. I have been waiting for you to look, said the reflection. You have spent 7 years looking at her instead of me. She has not been the right place to look. I am the right place. I am the part of you that you put outside yourself when you were a boy, because it was easier to love it across a market square than to live with it under your own ribs. You followed me through 4 towns because I am yours. I was always yours. I am still yours. She was the carrier. She was the screen. She did not know she was carrying me. She did not know she was a screen. She had her own life, a husband, 2 children, the basket of pears, the dog. She was kind to me by carrying me for you without knowing she was doing it. You owe her an apology. You owe her 7 years of solitude she did not ask for. You also owe me your evenings from now on in front of any glass that will hold you long enough for us to talk. The young man, who was not young, sat down on the curb. He sat there until evening. He went eventually back to his small room. He did not, in the years that followed, marry. He did not, in fact, ever again follow anyone. He sat with the reflection in the evenings. The reflection had a great deal to say. She had been carrying his loving for 7 years on someone else's body. She had been impatient to come home. She came home slowly over many years. He learned in his middle age to love what was actually his in his own ribs without needing to put it on a screen. He sent the woman in his 40th year a letter of apology. He had learned where she lived. He had not in 10 years followed her. He sent her 1 letter. The letter was 3 sentences long. It said, I am sorry. I did not know what I was doing. The thing I followed was not you. You were carrying it for me, and I should not have asked you to. She did not reply. She kept the letter, however, in a small drawer in her kitchen for the rest of her life. She did not show it to her husband. She did not in any decade fully understand it, but she had somewhere in herself known she had been followed. She had felt the weight, the unaccountable looking, the smell of him on the bus. The letter let her set the weight down. She felt, for the rest of her life, lighter. The face you have been searching for across. The world is the one you set down outside yourself, in order not to have to carry it. The woman in the market was the carrier she did not know she was carrying. The work, when you finally see, is to apologize to the carrier and bring the face back into your own ribs. The reflection is patient. She has been waiting 7 years. She will wait longer if she has to.